Alright guys, so here's the booth. I think that's Luan board, 1/4 inch thick. $15 a sheet, 4x8 sheets. I bought 3 of those. All this came from Lowe's. The studs are 2x2 by 8 foot tall. And the booth itself is 3 foot tall. I'm sorry. 3 foot deep, 4 foot wide, and 6 foot tall. The booth itself I think is going to be plenty wide, just deep enough for me to put my parts in there. And I had this fan, sold shop fan laying around, and it's pretty decent. It has a switch in the center, so I'll just turn it on from there. The filters came with that $80 price that I spoke of. You'll have to add a little bit of money for screws if you don't have screws. I had screws at home. The screws that I used were 3-inch deck screws, and I pre-drilled my holes so that it doesn't bust through on the 2x2. So the back supports that you see are for my filters. Pop them up here for you. Apologize, I'm filming this by myself. So maybe someday I'll be big enough to have somebody help me with this. But until then, so you can see my filters are just sitting up on that ledge. When I run it, I'm going to pull the filters up to the center and block both sides. Me particularly, I'm not really too pressed on the dust or the powder going to the back side of the booth or just the bottom. I just don't want it out here in the middle of my garage, getting on my welder, getting on my tool bench, my tools, the floor. So having a specific place for less than $100 is definitely the way to go. If you guys like this video or have questions, just feel free to drop them in the comment section. As a bonus, I'm going to show you my Eastwood OG powder coat gun. I screwed it down to a bar stool, which has been working pretty good. And I've just got a screw there to hold the gun up. But the most recent upgrade is I got rid of the push button switch. So if you guys are familiar with the Eastwood gun, you know you have to hold the button down while you spray, and that is locking you out of a second hand. Now they do this for safety, so do this at your own risk, at your own peril. If you're not that familiar with electricity, have somebody else do it or don't do it at all. I'm not telling you to do this, I'm just telling you what I did. And to do that, this casing splits apart, the button pulls out, you're left with the wire. These 2 prongs, they go into the bottom of it. I clipped the wire back just enough so that if I have to reattach the button, I'll have enough wire there to twist it back up and yeah, go back to factory. So beyond that, I have a Amazon special. It's that's actually a lighted switch. I bought 5 of them when I was doing my powder coat oven. So I bought these switches. We're not going to be using the lighted feature, but we are going to use the switch just to turn my ground on. So you can see on and off. If you guys attempt this, maybe make sure that you have the power off. Possibly something to check if you have actual power or not. On the back of my switch sticking out of the box, I'm going to be using liquid tape, and yeah, the prongs that I use for my wires. So I cut the back of the wire, spliced just a 1/2 inch of the wire off, and then added my terminals, as you can see here, if I can get it to focus. And if you have a switch similar to this, it's probably going to look like this. Like I said, the bottom is for the ground. That makes the light work. If I had a different switch, which was just a 2-prong, then that just makes the connection. That's what I would have went with, but in my case, this is what I'm using. So When you press the button, it just makes the connection from white to black to complete the circuit, down to your ground, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but these are the tools that I used. This is, I don't know, the middle grade Harbor Freight bit. I think it costs about 40 bucks or 35 or something for a 2-pack of those. That works great for all kinds of different stuff. When I built my powder coat oven, I used it for metal. Now I use it for the wood. Just some needle nose and a screwdriver to open that switch up. Some wire splicers, utility knife, a couple different drills, and then the saw. I do have a miter box saw, but you do not have to have that. You can definitely use a circular saw. If you have any plans to do this yourself, I'm sure you have most of those tools already. So besides the wood price, screws above the $80 is going to be the fan, and I'm sure you could pick those up at Menards or just wherever. Just get you a high-powered fan, make it face the wall, and it should be in business. It's got decent pull. I'll go ahead and turn it on for you. I know you can't see that, but I'm sure you can see that. Alright, so make sure your electric's unplugged when you're messing with your switch. Definitely do something to coat the back side, whether it's wire tape, a box, whatever you're going to do to protect yourself and other people that might come into your garage without your knowledge, or just who knows, just safety. Just be safe, guys. Yep. Then I don't know whose video it was, but I came across a guy's video on YouTube, and his modification was to add 1-inch PVC to the end, sand the center out, just a little ring, and on this gun it had a glued in end that had to be sanded down. I did it on my bench grinder, slid this. Before I slid it, there's two, you could use rubber bands, but I used ends of balloons just like he did in his video. I wish I had his YouTube so I could tag him in it, but the rubber bands are to allow you to slide this back and forth. And my gun was missing its diffuser at the end, so this is just a rubber cap, which I had from AutoZone for a different project. So you could literally make all different sizes, but they're just rubber caps. A few bucks for those. All right, guys, I hope this helps. You can check my Facebook page out. It's Steelheart Customs. We're going to be offering powder coating, all different types. Yeah, come back for other videos. The next video I show will be my stand for powder coating, where I can connect my ground to the bottom, be out of the way. That's the goal, just to make life easier. All right, I hope this helps. Peace.